Good morning, trumpet now. I didn't even take a deep breath.
In my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. But now you done and piss me off. You ain't done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on, I'm going on.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the hell it is, wherever the hell you are, and welcome back to the Lost Begotten channel. Yeah, channel. Today's show is brought to you by Close Calls. close calls. Just because it was a close call doesn't mean you didn't shit yourself. These are the things I think of while listening to the music that starts before the show. And that's pretty much it. So anyways, today we're going to be doing some weather type stuff and some weather analysis type stuff. G'day, Neville. We're going to be doing chat, speaking of Neville. We're going to be hanging out with Neville, speaking of chat. Anyways. And let's see here, we got that thing, and we got, oh yeah, by the way, fair use for stuff. Yeah. Okay, now that that's out of the way. Oh wait, hold up. And also things, and possibly some news. Okay, anyways. So, let's see what's behind door number 2. Oh shit. It's not really working very well, is it? Oh, there I go. I am the ghost in the chat box. Hello. So, how are you doing, Neville? How's the weather been down there in Aussie? Yeah, which is a word I just made up just now. I know. Ousy, yoursy, minesy. I can be creative if I want to. Every now and again, right? Let's see here. Why is this chat window out? Over there, so much. What's going on here with this? It can surely it can be moved over just a little bit more, maybe. There we go. And now, soak in my face. Kinda. There we go. That's why they call me Old Big Head. I'm a ghost. Boring compared to USA. Oh, I mean, oh, isn't that just something to envy? I mean, fuck. Y'all don't even need, like, movie theaters anymore. Just what the fuck's going on with America, you know? We don't, that's for sure. There's, like, movies coming out that nobody even hears of. It's like y'all just put all the movies on hold until we stop living this fucking weird apocalyptic sci-fi drama that's going on with, like, you know, the Antichrist taking over America and everything. Tell you what, I think Cracked has it right on by how much you can learn and explore from this and really creep yourself out by analyzing it in terms of a fan fiction drama. And to those interested in such experiments, I welcome you to the Lost Begotten channel, and I assure you, you will enjoy my content. It will flip your brain different ways that you could ever fucking imagine. Oh, something I specialize in. Yes. Can you see my hands rubbing together? Yes. Mantis hands. Zorak. Mantis, spelled backwards, is Sitnam. Anyways. So, Maximo appears to be sleeping in. I suppose I could mess that up for him. Because, you know, it just seems to work every time. Every time I'm like, let me close my eyes and try to, like, knock Maximo over on his hammock or 5 minutes later. Hey everyone! Maximo! Look who's here! Oh, the coffee is good. The coffee is good. And carpet anemones, as you may have learned from the previous video, please go and watch my previous 2 videos. I'm going to have to put a little more flashy of a title on them. Those are some good videos right there. Those are of my clownfish delivery from earlier today. And the new ones that I took home, one of which died, which I wish I would have just left it where it was. Probably would have had a better shot. But it really didn't have a very good shot where it was. But then, I don't know, I just think moving it, well intended but bad idea. Anyways, at future reference, I'll know exactly what the line is as far as what fish I can and can't save. But Nemo, the one with the bit fin, the other onyx, is doing quite well. Those fish, let me see here. Because I didn't see any other regular onyx besides the one in this display here. Hold on, give me a second to find it. Excuse me. I'm still not fully recovered from earlier when I had a bit of an incident with a green carpet anemone, which apparently is the really stingy type of carpet anemone. So
I'm the only one who does.
Yeah.
I'm the only fish breeder I know of.
this right here, and me telling them how there's no other fish breeders in Louisiana. Okay, so see those 2 on? Those are the ones right there. There's 2 of them on the left. There's one top center right there, top center. I might actually be able to tell which ones I got if I put this in media player later and pause it. Analyze the specific patching of black and orange at the belly. But those are ORA onyx as opposed to Rod's onyx, which have like a completely black marking. And then there's the Sequest ones. That get some of them get wild collected and then tank raised, I think. I'm starting to theorize about how exactly things are done. But the way Rod does it is pretty cool. And he does it better than they do. But anyway, so there might be a couple of more fish that I got from Magna that are in that tank and now in my sump. But I'll definitely have to slow down that video to see how many came from ORA, and ORA maybe just unloaded on Pro Aquatics, because Pro Aquatics is where the local store that I got these guys from bought a big batch of them from. Some from Pro Aquatics and then some from Sustainable Aquatics. And, well, I got a pretty good pick of the litter. And then we took Spoticus back because I'm really kind of worried about their husbandry being freshwater guys. And I mean, there's like a newly educated saltwater guy, I suppose. If you really had a whole bunch of experience, there's some things that wouldn't be happening in that store, like lack of overflow screens. There was a premium Onyx Picasso, $130 fish, got sucked into the fucking sump pump because it went down the overflow, and there's no screen on the drains for each tank. There's no like redundant pickup at the baffle, and they got a really wide sump. It's like 18 inches wide, and then like left to right long, it's probably good 4 feet. And there's a giant refugium with chaeta and live rock, but then it just overflows. There's like an inch tall waterfall where all the fish are going to wind up getting, put right into the little sump area. And there's basically no pre-filter on the pump, so I was just pulling freaking fish out of there today. I'm thinking maybe I'll offer, if I can get the AC fixed on my car, or when it cools down a little. God, I feel like I need to go out there sooner, but like driving out across in the sweltering heat across town to go save some fish, risking my own life, no, I don't know about all that. But maybe with the AC, so I can take it slower and be less worried about losing momentum and sitting in a still car with no AC. Car's moving, you're fine. Car's still, Nobody has the right to be pissed off in traffic except for someone who's like on their way to the hospital or they don't have AC, etc. Late for work, that shit's your fault, Leave early. Drive happy. So, cold in Australia because when it's summer here, it's winter there. But should be getting a couple of warm fronts in soon, eh, Neville? Huh. Perhaps Max had a good time last night. Isn't quite gonna be joining the world anytime soon. Who wakes me? Cool. Well, soon enough. Right now it's teasing me. It'll get cold and then sweltering hot in the middle of the day again. Like seriously, we've been waking up, it's like 60 degrees outside. By the middle of the day it's 95. Or it's, 87 plus humidity. Heat index. Feels like 95. So, we have some interesting weather happening, that's for sure. Very interesting. Let's take a little bit of a closer look, shall we? Oh, and look, I just happened to wind up in the eye of the... I didn't do that on purpose. Fucking just lean forward. Hi. So anyways. My dad just got enveloped. He's right there at the, right below Tampa Bay. So he's basically, about to get hammered. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. No wonder it didn't look right. I have a bunch of pre-updated images because I'm all fancy like that. But there. No, that's not it either. I may have saved the wrong file over one of them. Shit. Alright, I'll just pull that down again then. That's the US. I was hoping for something a bit more zoomed in. But, okay. So, take a look at this US map. My dad, let me see, does the pencil show up a little better? There we go. My dad is right here, at the very edge, on the beach. I mean, he's literally 150 feet away from the beach, right there, below Tampa Bay. And they got what's called False Key. And it's one of them little archipelagos, right? One of the little sandbar islands or barrier islands. And yeah, he's on that. And he's not leaving. He says, if it comes in as a Cat 4, I'll leave. It's already coming in. And it is a Cat 4. Currently. Yeah, let's check, see. Look. Right here on this screen, it's going to be updating again, and it's going to say Cat 4. Voila. Oh, there it went. So we're right here in Louisiana. I'm going to pencil that again. We are right here. This fucking camera needs to be improved a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, so we are right here, smack dab in the middle of Louisiana, north of Baton Rouge. Right, he's sitting there saying, oh, it might go to New Orleans, so I don't want to evacuate to y'all's house. We are as far inland as there is inland in Florida. So, and plus, we're on a, like, we're on a valley on the side of a ridge, kinda, but we're still up on a ridge compared to sea level. This is a good, I think, 17 feet above sea level here, and there's a lot of, like rises and a lot of land between here and the coastline. Let me tell you. Plus, there's the Mississippi River and 2 levees south of Baton Rouge. So, hurricane storm surge ain't gonna make it here. If there's a rain system that stays stagnant north of here for several days, or just stays there all day and just pours it down, then we have problems with flooding where I live. But hurricanes, tropical storms, the water hardly ever rises on the creek behind my house. Okay, that's the problem for me. I got the creek behind my house. The street up there is probably 23 feet above sea level, and then everything on the other side of the street keeps going up. But what's fascinating me, let's go back to the zoomed out map again. All up in here. So you have one, just kind of lackadaisical front coming in from the east coast, from the west coast. You have this ambient moisture convecting from the California Peninsula up across the Rockies. But it doesn't look as though the high pressure system over the Great Lakes is very strong at all. And that convecting air over Mexico, that's not any kind of bridge. But there's a lot of extreme variance in the different influences on that air mass. And I'm not seeing a pattern that I can correlate to anything previously that a storm was involved in. I've seen patterns like this, where it was just kind of a doldrum effect and random little pressure spots. But never with a hurricane in the Gulf. But what's a little bit disturbing is that during this time of year, when this kind of weather pattern occurs, the usual thing for a storm to do is to stay along this line right here. What they do is they go and they slam into, they'll come up off the Yucatan, or just basically these monsoons will come and form right here, and then form a little bit more right here, and then hit South Texas and Mexico. and then cross over and then go and threaten Hawaii usually. This is about the time where things start to move up to Hawaii, right? Or down to Hawaii. So what that means for Irma is that A, nobody really knows where the fuck it's gonna go. Okay. You got this projected path here. See, it was showing a category 4. And that's supposed to take it just strafing up the west coast of Florida. Oh. I wanted my cold water channel cars, but wow. So right now it's in 87 degree to 89 degree water during the peak of the day. And that's why it's a category 4. But depending on the temperatures, yeah, that cold air mass that just passed through here could actually wind up weakening it, just like they say. Hopefully. But a category 3, still ain't nothing to mess around with. I mean, a category 3 can do a tremendous amount of damage. Katrina was a 3 when it came ashore. All this nonsense about it being a 5, that it wasn't a 5 when it came ashore. It was a 5 when it was barely touching the Plaquemine. By the time it actually came ashore, it was a 3. Ashore, it was a 3. People need to get that shit right. But for some reason, I remember things better than the internet does, so that's why you come to my channel. I only occasionally flake, and when I flake, I usually say I might be flaking. I'm not sure. I know for fuck good well that, I mean, Katrina, they even made a point of correcting people's discussion of it back in 2005, early 2006, because people had said many times it came ashore as a category 5. No, it threatened. It came right up as a category 5, and I think the Mississippi water cooled it off. There was some cold air north there. It was one of them years where we had the cold fronts early, coming down over the central United States. So, when Katrina got right up along the coast, it rapidly weakened. Now the storm surge effects, because it made it all the way up to the coast as a category 5, the storm surge effects were equivalent to a category 5. Anyway. So, Irma Gerd. I hope Jose fucking doesn't do much. But there's this weird thing going on. Let me turn this off for a minute and see if I could find it. Have you heard about this, Neville, since you're the person I'm chatting with for the day? Have you heard about the sea going away? I forget which island it was. But like the water has just basically disappeared. And apparently the little conspiracy channels have been reporting on some different events recently. Different beaches in South America having extreme low tides. And they haven't been giving complete information on it. But now, something weird just happened. The islands behind this hurricane have no water around them. Like, there was this video on Facebook a few hours ago. Kids jumping off the piers and going and flipping conchs back on their bellies so they don't die, and like just walking, they just keep walking on what used to be ocean. Try to find, right, that's pretty damn weird, isn't it? I'm going to try to find a video. Hopefully someone got this on YouTube. If not, I'll have to go to Facebook and see if we can't put it on the screen here. Not Irma. Irma Gerd, it's a storm. Okay. So, looks like we've got some. Yeah, this is the one on Facebook earlier. Somewhere in the Bahamas. That's all I got so far. See if I can find better quality. Which Bahamas beaches, though? Right, it's supposed to happen before a tsunami. And that makes me think that basically what's happening here is that the storm surge has carried the water away, okay, and basically it's gonna come back. And that could be a fucked up event. Somebody's saying Long Island. Old boy who lives in Long Island. Name was Rob. I'm not sure. One of the recent guys who's in here chatting. He lives on Long Island. Maybe you can verify what the hell is going on. All the shill channels are saying Long Island in the Bahamas. Okay, well that's just annoying. Okay, so this one says water missing off coast of Long Island. So I'm gonna look at the indigenous life, and that's the same fucking video, man. Oh, Bahamas. It's the same fucking video. There's a lot of Bahamas. Okay, if it's Bahamas plural, there's going to be a lot of videos, not the same fucking video. Alright, whatever. So, looks like we got some new Matto. I'll have to check on that in a second. In fact, might as well go ahead and get that now. Let's see, who shall I give my click to? Who's got the longest upload? That isn't just going to be like chopped up somebody else's crap. Oh, but wait, it's Saturday night, Sunday morning, isn't it? So none of those are new anyways. Okay, never mind. So anyways, earlier the fish store. I was acclimating the fish I was delivering. And one of them went under this green carpet anemone. And started to get taken by it. It's a powerful anemone. Man crashes CNN interview, yells "fucker" right in the book. Jeez. But anyways, trying to get that fish out. Well, I got the fish out. I just reached in there and nudged him. But when I reached in there and nudged him, the anemone grabbed hold of the whole outside of my hand. And I'm still not feeling good. I never believed that I could still be susceptible to carpet anemone stings, because I've had, like the smaller types of carpet anemones. But, apparently the green ones have a harsher sting, and with the bubble tips, it's the red ones that have the harsher sting. But apparently with the carpet anemones, it's the green ones. Because, man, I never, I felt like I was dying. It was horrible. I threw up like 8 times. Had to go back there like 5 times. Luckily, the one good thing about our bathtub, despite the fact that it has a crack in it and it leaks, is that there's those, it's one of them make you feel good about living in a trailer bathtubs. So it's got the big, nice round oval to it, and it's got the steps, so you can pretend you have a jacuzzi. But the steps, it's a small, tiny bathroom, so you can sit on the step, the bottom step there. It's like little 2 steps. And you are lined up just right for puking time. I'm going to get off that subject before I wind up having some more of that special time. I might need to take another swig of milk. I thought it was just heat exhaustion, dehydration, something like that. But drinking fruit juice. I like the white cran peach Welch's mix. That didn't help. Sprite didn't help so much. I'm trying that right now because it's nearby. I don't feel like getting up and getting the milk out the fridge. But milk, if you've ever vomited from toxicity, whether it be snake bite, jellyfish sting, take your time, man. Snake bite, jellyfish sting, scorpion, like anything, spider bite. If something has you throwing up, or if not, if you just know you've been poisoned, milk generally speaking, not always, but milk can kind of neutralize it in your bloodstream just by drinking it. So don't tell me cow milk's bad for you. Because I tried juice, I tried Sprite, I tried water, and puked them back up. And there wasn't nothing in my stomach that needed to be puked back up. I was just puking back up what I was drinking. And then I hadn't eaten for 2 days. I still haven't eaten. It's almost been 3 days since I've eaten. Well, a couple of cookies here and there when I get really bad off is what I do. So as soon as I drank the milk, I mean, before it was even all the way down in my stomach, the nausea felt better. And then I was having hot and cold flashes. And by the time it got down to my stomach, I felt kind of balanced out. And I was able to just rest and stop hyperventilating. And so the fact that the milk is what worked makes me believe that it wasn't any kind of digestive issue, or definitely not a bacterial illness, because that would be getting worse by milk. It was that fucking anemone. I mean, it just grabbed a hold of me for like a fraction of a second too. But I mean, when it grabbed quick, and it grabbed a whole lot of my hand, and the whole back of my hand was red earlier. Still kind of sensitive right here. That's where it maintained contact the longest, was on this, on the first knuckle of my middle finger, on the rear knuckle. Oh, didn't hurt. It tingled a little bit, but it didn't tingle enough to make me feel like I got poisoned, which is the fucking really weird thing. It makes me think like the way a carpet anemone traps fish so easily isn't just the sheer power of the grip or any immediate shocking tranquilizing effect. Like it doesn't immediately kill the prey, I don't think. But I mean, the concentration might be a whole lot different in a small fish. But I think it's the manner of the poison. So the fish will get in there and it gets gripped, but it doesn't feel like any kind of painful. It doesn't feel like a tickle, like a lot of different stings can be. So that doesn't make the fish twitch really quickly and be able to escape. You know, if it shocked the fish would probably still be able to lose its grip. When I poked my little baby clownfish, that was kind of, I mean, it was mostly on the side of the anemone, but the anemone had kind of clamped down on it with its disc, and then started to wrap its tentacles on, and several of the tentacles were on there, like a few dozen, and it was probably going to try to pull that clownfish in, but the clownfish wasn't sitting anywhere. As soon as I went and poked it, that clownfish took off, and that's how the carpet anemone got me. So that clownfish was just sitting there letting the anemone inject it with more and more poison, and was probably just going to sit there and fall asleep and just be like, I'm going to let it eat me now. I'm so worried about those fish. I'm like wanting to go up there again tomorrow. And like, my God, it's just too hot still. It's just too hot. I ought to offer them to come up there once a week and help them maintain those tanks. And just figure out some cheap ways to make it safer for fish. But yeah, the tank they're in right now, not only is there a killer carpet anemone in there. There's one carpet anemone that seems to be fine for hosting. One of my fish, the sailfin, he just went right up to that carpet, the red carpet, and started hosting it. No problem. But that green one, apparently, either that or the level of the tank is really high, and I'm worried that some of them might have been jumping out. But I don't know. Hopefully somebody there says they sold one, or two, or four. But the idea that half of the ones that I brought there got killed is really fucking unsettling. It's really depressing, actually. And that's why I just had to bring Spotticus back. Like, Snowflake, I told him I was going to bring him Snowflake. And it's like, that's the best looking fish, I think, that we raised as far as what people would expect a true Percula extreme misbar Picasso to look like. Valuable fish. But like, it's not just that I put so much work into raising these babies. And you want to talk about, like, 40 hours a week for a couple of years. At least several months out of the year until they got grown big enough. While you're doing harvesting and all that shit, man, it's more than a full-time job. It's like, and that's why I say 40 hours a week for a couple of years, because while I'm doing harvests, that's like 80 hours a week. Easy 80 hours a week. Oh my goodness. But on top of that, on top of all the painstaking, I mean, my back is fucking broken. That doesn't make things easier. But then, look at that, like the last live stream where I ended the video just doing like a live stream for a while of those babies. So friendly, so just like damn near hand tame. You can practically pet them. And I hate to think just like they're dropping like flies in there, man. Yeah, that's just, that tears me up thinking about that. They're my babies, And then, like, the thing that happened with that puppy. I had that really bad feeling, and I started crying on the video when we're supposed to be just saying goodbye to the puppy. I go and I try to film a video earlier, just trying to say goodbye to the fishies, and I started crying. I mean, I really started crying, man. I was barely able to end the fucking video. And that makes me wonder if my instincts are telling me that something bad going to happen to all those fish. So tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm going to have a message them. I'm going to message them right when they get there, so it pops up right when they get there. And ask them to move those fish to the middle tank. Because, just wow. I can't wait to have my store. Like, seriously? I want my store. All the fish in my store are going to be perfectly healthy. All the corals in my store are going to be perfectly healthy. like, I just can't imagine letting shit get ran the way I've seen so many different stores do it. I mean, it's not these guys' fault, because they're mostly freshwater guys up until recently. Like, they're all just getting into saltwater. But really, no screens on the fucking overflows. Just no. Just no. Don't do that. Especially when you got a fucking high power, like a really powerful pump, plumbed into like multiple different aquariums. Let me get the little weather thing back up there. The hurricane radar that NBC News is so kind to stream every time there's a hurricane threatening the coast. Getting kind of late. Might be a short broadcast. You know, only an hour or so. So anyway, where's the big wide map? There we go. There I go. So, what's been interesting in all this, and I've talked about it on the past few live streams, but I wanted to kind of make a searchable one, as if my fucking keywords count for anything on this bullshit fucking platform. It's not your job to be entertaining. I'm the one trying to make a fucking video, right? You can feel free to ask questions if you've been contemplating how all this works. But I was just going to reiterate some of the stuff we've kind of gone over in the past few videos. So basically, this is the Mercator projection. So you squeeze all that in, right? And this is a big ring, right? This is the path of the sun. And these waves are from the heat waves and the convective wind waves that the sun makes going through. Then you have the backdraft. I call it the riptide, because it's very much like what happens at a beach. Only this is where the waves are. So this is the opening in the sandbars, right? And then this is across the sandbars, that riptide that can pull you under. So this hot air tends to fan out in different waveforms and will often have little turbulent vortices in the upper atmosphere. Those form everything from tornadoes to hurricanes. When they're doubled up on by consecutive heat waves from the sun as it passes through, is when they form hurricanes. But you see, all that heat from the sun going through every day at 1,000 miles an hour, it doesn't all make it down to the atmosphere, up to the surface. Some of it's going up and radiates and creates different effects in the atmosphere, possibly including the aurora borealis. As that solar convective energy, these hyper-excited molecules, cool down, they're drawn to the center by the consistent pulsating motion of the sun's path. And that's why you have this north wind that occasionally comes down at a hyper intense level straight from the north and throws off these projections that they give you for the hurricane's path. We've seen it time and time again over the past couple of weeks where this north wind would come down. You'd see these guys coming here, you'd see this guy going here, but you'd see these few fast clouds going right down from the center. In fact, I think I saved some images that show that. Let me get this stuff off of here. And I'm just gonna, alright, I made a folder. Oh, look at that. While I was sitting here dying of anemone sickness. Alright, so let's just go one example at a time. Right there you see that clockwise nor'easter and what used to be another clockwise nor'easter getting torn apart, and the path of Hurricane Harvey being affected. Take them one at a time. This was just prior to that last image. And you see that rapid acceleration in the first few frames? Keep an eye on that. Look at that right there. See those two peaks that come down right there and there. And that's as Harvey makes landfall. And then all three of those storms go and pay a visit to what lies to the north of Europe. Let's see here. See how fast those clouds go? And you can see, like, even across some of the other flow patterns, you can see these other bits of north wind just out accelerating all the other clouds. Look at that. See up here? These guys right here coming down. And that's the one we had talked about a couple of weeks ago, that were kind of breaking up this storm and caused Harvey, breaking up this trough and caused Harvey to raise a lot slower and just kind of stagnated over Louisiana for a little while, stagnated over Missouri and Kentucky, and took forever to get across West Virginia. That's from this central convective line. Let me get that one. Get the new one back. This central convective line. Okay. As the sun moves through the atmosphere, okay, just picture the aerodynamic, what do you call it, trail, and the pressure at which, good morning, Maximo. Hope the coffee's nice and strong for you this morning. And, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. So, picture it going through the atmosphere, an orb, alright, at 1,000 miles an hour, okay? Just like a plane, just like a car, that air is going to be pressed in all directions, alright? Now, as it meets the thicker parts of the atmosphere, it convects and causes turbulence. But as it goes up, it basically becomes sort of a free radical particulate mass that cools and spirals, much like the dark vortex of the lunar eclipse, towards the center. Okay, so it's always being created, always cooling, and some of it is always making air fall at the center. So depending on, how the other atmospheric anomalies cause pressure to open up at the North Pole, I'm talking the celestial North Pole, not the mechanical, but magnetic, both, North Pole, it falls. And that's why you get these extremely fast north winds, because wherever that air mass opens up and lets it squeeze its way through, it comes down, and it comes down fast. Some evidence to this. I doubt Neville's ever experienced it. In fact, well, unless you've lived somewhere way up north. Not in Australia. But I lived in South Dakota. And Maximo might have experienced this, where it's not snowing, but there's snow blowing in from the north in clumps. Okay, and that's a usual thing, supposedly. But what's interesting to me is the angle that it always seems to blow in. It always seems to blow in diagonally, as if it were coming from somewhere above the North Pole. Like if you trace it back, its trajectory, it's coming from like the mythical mountain above the North Pole or some shit, Like they say, it's just stuff that's blown in from. But I would think that there'd be, other forms of debris with it. It wouldn't be so fluffy, and the angle wouldn't be so consistent. Like it always, right, the diagonal leg. I knew you were going to know what I was talking about. Like it blows around with the different wind and shit. But if you're watching it and you average it out, it comes in from this fucking angle, and it's bizarre, isn't it? But then picture that spiral, Okay, let's see if I can use one of my maps here. So this, you know, the sun's path, right along with the monsoon line, right? Okay, can't reach that now. Over here, the big circle, right? But the sun's path is this circle over here. Okay. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. This circle over here. Alright. As the air above the sun gets deflected upwards, it has to go somewhere. Okay? It's going to cool, and then it's going to want to fall. But by then, guess what? Here comes another one. So, some of it gets split in two, but half of it, at least, after it gets split in two by the next turbulent pulse, would be deflected towards the center. So it's going like this. And every time that pulse passes it, it just goes more and more towards the center. So then you'll have ionized air swirling around, explaining both the aurora borealis and the north wind. And to some extent, the amount of wind that happens, like the frosty convective wind that just suddenly blasts you in Antarctica. That really fucking makes sense, doesn't it? Cool beans. Where is this one? There we go. So, Max says, interesting, you mentioned the diagonal angle. Makes a bunch of bells and alarms go off in my head now. I remember a few stories that reference this as well. The mountain and by inference angle. Every logical bone in my body tells me that there's no fucking mountain at the center of the earth. But every fiber of my being tells me that there is one. And that pisses me off. That's annoying. Like, what the fuck is up with, like... I mean, you know, and after all, when I flew home from New Zealand, we saw shit that everybody tells me I shouldn't have fucking saw. Even my dad tells me I didn't see it. No, I sat there with a stopwatch, Dad, and I fucking timed that shit. You can't tell me. Like, I was a observational, vigilant scientist from birth. Okay, like I was the soul that invented the scientific method. Reborn. Okay, that's how stringent I was about not only my own intellectual development, but about how rigorously I cataloged everything I observed and learned. Now, it's a simple observational test that you can research and look up for yourself. If the Earth is flat and Antarctica is the edge, then whoever tried to set the first world record of navigating around Antarctica should have a hell of a time, wouldn't you say? Right? I mean, look at that. If he's gonna try to go around Antarctica, he's in for some shit. Okay? He's got a long way to go. And depending on the route and the ice expanse around Antarctica, this is actually not a good map. Hold on. Let me see if I got a better one we can put up here. Alright, I have this one properly skewed. Okay. So, if Antarctica is a big continent at the bottom of all this shit, that you can get to easily from both South America and New Zealand, alright? Squeeze that, what would effectively be half, down a little bit more, but then remember that it's a circle, so you got to go all the way around it. Twice that distance is how long you'd have to go to stay within sight of ice around the edge. So if you're going around Antarctica, you're going like a wide path around Antarctica, because you got to steer clear of the ice, right? Same thing as if you go around the edge. You got to steer clear of the ice. Well, look up the first person to have done that. Because according to history, let's see where the fucking camera was. According to history, the first person to have sailed around Antarctica did so by accident twice. That's on the record books. That's official. The first person to ever sail around Antarctica accidentally did it twice. The distance he traveled was twice the distance expected. And that's that. Let's face it, that's all they really know. Oh, he just passed up the fucking place he set off from on accident. Really? No. Occam's razor, man. The razor's edge. Oh. So, looks like I'm pretty much proving my broadcast is suppressed just by the content of this video, wouldn't you say, Max? Because you know, everybody who's ever looked for flat Earth shit is sitting there wondering about flat Earth hurricanes right now. And I got my tags all lined up for that. But nobody? Flat Earth weather, flat Earth hurricanes, flat Earth, solar flares. Pretty much all the good stuff that they should be searching for right now. And And how many people watching? Well, it's not Max. He doesn't count. Remember? He's 0 people. So we just have one troll monitor or a silent viewer. And right. We get the flat earth shill bot, whatever fucks. They just come in here for no damn reason. But now suddenly, oh no. And you know, what's funny about that is, even though I am the least produced of the Flat Earth channels, I'm the one who actually comes up with the most theories to explain things. Whereas most people just want to read you some shit that came out in the fucking 90s about it. Anyways. Irma Gerd. It's a stir. Big funky storm. So yeah, Max, fucking anemone almost killed me today. I was a little too undernourished and dehydrated and overheated to handle the toxicity from rescuing one of my fish. And apparently, half the fish I delivered last time didn't make it for fucking stupid reasons. I'm actually hoping the anemone ate them as opposed to them going over the overflow or jumping out. Oh, just painful. I love my babies, you know? I know they're fucking fish, but they're my babies, you know? Yeah, I was telling the story before you woke up. So, they had this tank with a bunch of anemones, a bunch of carpet anemones, 3 big carpet anemones, 2 green, 1 red, and 1 was very green. And green carpet anemones, just like green long tentacles, and the green cold water anemones have a really fucking potent sting. That's the one, like the one that you see eating the bird. Yeah, share those in fish groups if you're in any on whatever. They're good videos, I think. We took some pretty good quality videos earlier with the wife's phone, you know, fucking Galaxy S7. But so yeah, it was my idea, which is why I feel so stupid. And I'm hoping it's my idea that killed my own fish, because that would just make me, like, you know, not have anybody else to be mad at but myself, and that's preferable. So there's kind of a tank on the end of the rows that's got like a higher water level. I think the one further over was on a different system, or was just set up differently to where there was like a decent gap. So I was kind of worried about these guys jumping out, alright, because you know they like to jump, especially around, like, you know, when they see something they don't expect. But anyways, I'm sitting there acclimating when I count 5 fish. We delivered 10, there's 5 left, man. So I'm already just kind of like, I'm coming in from the road, you know, drove 30 minutes in my car, all sweaty, and now I'm just like getting nervous and kind of panicky because I'm like, is delivering these fish the right thing to do, you know? And I get them acclimated, and one of them goes and gets stuck behind the anemone and kind of like just chills there for a second, and the tentacles are like kind of like halfway touching it, but it's like stationary. And that's, even if it's a clownfish, if you see it stationary in the anemone when it's first getting introduced, that's not a good thing. So I reached down there to get it free, and the anemone grabbed like half my outer hand. Like it got my finger first, the top of my middle finger first, and then got all the way around like my wrist. And like it, when I tell you those things grip, man, like there really isn't a Velcro that can be compared to the grip of a fucking carpet anemone. Now, I've had carpet anemones in the past from a different genus, okay? And those were really known for their sting and their grip, but their grip more so than their sting. But this fucking thing here, man, like I felt it, like it was powerful. But there was no pain, there was no tingliness, and I thought I was fine until I started feeling sick. I came home and threw up fucking 8 times. I felt like I was dying. And I was drinking, I drank some white cran peach juice, which is a blend that they always have for good price at the store down here. Love that juice. It always makes me feel better when I'm dehydrated. Threw that up. Tried some Sprite, threw that up. Got some water, threw that up. Finally, and this is what makes me think that it was in fact the anemone that poisoned me. Drank some milk. Almost immediately better. That's fucking crazy. So I wound up pulling Spoticus back out. And in fact, he went right back into the receptacle for me. And I brought 4 new fish home. I don't even know, man. I don't know. But I was. There are few flus that have ever had me feeling that bad. Like I was getting hot and then cold and hot and cold, and oh, it was horrible. But I got 2 of those onyxes from ORA's display tank, the one that we had on the big long clownfish video from ORA's display tank at Magna, right? I got some of those onyxes that were in there apparently, and one of them died. It was looking really bad at the store, and I was trying to just take it home to rescue it, but I really wish I didn't. I really wish I would have left it there. It might have had a better chance of surviving there. But like, I don't know, like their tanks were looking like maybe a little overstocked. I'm not sure. Something just their systems aren't being as well maintained as I had hoped. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully I can get them to switch from this edge aquarium where they are now with the carpet anemones to the tank that they switched the maroon into, and just put the maroon back in this fucking tank, because the one that the maroon's in now has really high edges and no deadly carpet anemones. So it's like I'm trying not to be upset about this. Like, well, half my fucking fish disappeared. You didn't think maybe I should move them? Like, to me, they're more valuable because, not just because I bred them, but because a local breeder individually raised them. These are hand-tamed fish. These are not made at a big fucking facility that has multiple people working there, and like everything's done like by a clockwork type regimen. No, like these were nurtured and at TLC and constant attention, and they're just more friendly. They're certainly brighter colored than any of the other fish that they have there. And just like you can't go treating fish from a local small breeder the same way you would fish that you ordered off the internet that you got 20 at a fucking, or 100 at a time, and they bred them 1,000 at a time, like these are people that have high enough quality systems that when they go and breed even true perculas, they're getting 150 per batch. So they have a lot of fish, and these are all kept in massive grow out systems. They're all beat up. I have put a lot of effort just into keeping my fish from beating each other up so that they would look really good, Anyways, so the other onyx that was there, with the bit fin, is now going to be Spartacus's mate. So we're going to try to do the domino onyx. And basically that's Nemo. I mean, it's got like the bit fin, tiny little fin on one side, big fin on the other. Really good swimmer. Of all the fish that I caught today, and I was like catching a few different fish and moving them and stuff like that, not just my fish, I was moving fish up at the store. Of all the fish that I fucking caught today, Nemo, the one with the bit off fin that I thought would be dead, was the hardest one to catch. I mean, like 15 attempts, and like as I raised the net up, it just jumped, got right off, got right out. It was hilarious. I was just giggling the whole time. Look at you. I actually, I tried to catch it once and then gave up on it. It was like, oh, well, if you really want to stay that bad. But then the other one, I was thinking maybe put the other one, put that one in there to make the other one feel better, because the other one just looked so sad. It was getting beat up down by a bunch of Ocellaris. But it died. It started swimming upside down right after we acclimated it. It had an hour-and-a-half acclimation, but apparently my salinity was a little too high for it. It was definitely having osmotic shock, worse than the other ones. So it was acting like Yumichika was, but worse, in their tank. And it was really skinny. So I was thinking maybe I could try to feed it some more and get, just trying to help. Probably wound up helping it die is what I did. But it was miserable. So that one, being as it was, and I'll go ahead and put the video up, why not? Seeing as it was from a different display and got sold to him by Pro Aquatics or Sustainable Aquatics and not ORA, it so top center of the screen, that's one of the onyx. But I'm really not sure which one I got. That kind of looks like one of the Picasso perks I got. See those black perculas with the orange face and orange bellies? I think those are the ones. I think. Go look at them right and see if I can see which one is the one with the bit fin. Come on, get some food, babies. Well, I think I might be mistaken, actually. He has more black than either of those two. Let me see here. Yep, more black than that one, too. So it's not one of the ORA fish. I guess they had a lot of similar fish then. Anyways, that's roughly what he looks like. But, anyways, you can see them all on that other video that I uploaded, or that my wife uploaded. And they look like they're doing pretty well down there. So anyways, what's going on with you, Maximo? Have a good night last night? Do anything interesting? I think I might try to get something to eat. After I get something to smoke. Been a long day. Once I finally drank the milk and was able to fall asleep, I probably slept for like 5 hours. Oh yeah? Get drunk by yourself around a campfire? That's always fun. I'm starting to get hungry, but I'm afraid to eat. A marching band walking through the village. That's awesome. I wonder how many people mute their microphone so they can fart while they live stream. Not that that's relevant to anything that just occurred just now. Tell you what, if you and Carlos ever make it out here or something, come out during the winter. Get away from that frozen shit. It's nice and like just only me, my farts, the stars, the fire, and beer. But y'all come out here during the winter, because it basically just gets just cold enough to make a campfire. We'll have a few snowy days, maybe. Just once in a fucking leap year and a half. But usually it's really nice out, clear view of the stars, and got a nice spot for campfires. Just right in the middle of the field out there, you know, on the other side of the shed. Yeah, you spend the winter up north where it really gets fucking cold. And then you come down here, and it's like, you people just don't know how to dress. Like, this ain't even fucking cold. Like, it gets 28 degrees and they're panicking. Okay? 14 and we had a major event. I don't even think it's ever gotten that cold, actually. I think 24 is like the lowest. 24 Fahrenheit. Okay. Positive. Not even negative. I don't know if it's ever even gotten negative. I don't think it's ever gotten negative here. But it's like for some fucking Holland or Denmark or Great Britain, God forbid, like Sweden or Norway, you come down here and see people shiver and just laugh at them. Like, I'm wearing shorts and a tank top. Right, right. Panic at 28 degrees Fahrenheit. They're like making announcements on the news and shit. Everybody, make sure you set your faucets on to drip. Cover your plants. Nobody knows how to drive in ice around here. Oh my goodness, nobody knows how to drive in this shit. It's scary. When a winter storm actually happens down here, it's fucking scary. It's a good thing that most people don't even go out. Because I'm telling you, they don't know how to drive in that shit. They do not know how to drive in that shit. Not that they know how to drive, period. But, yeah. Key West is getting nailed, man. Holy shit. Yeah, the low altitude and the high humidity, yeah, makes it a little less fun, I suppose. You just gotta keep your ears covered. Yeah, Germany has kind of that South Dakota effect, where there's shit, or no, not the South Dakota effect, the Minnesota effect, where there's crap north of there that's colder. I mean, warmer. Minnesota will just be like 10, 15 degrees colder than everything else. Really? That's interesting. I wonder what actually causes that. I could probably figure it out, but I'm done thinking for the day. It's just swallowing Florida up. And my dad's about to get hammered. I'm gonna fucking... Oh. You shouldn't do this to your kids after their mom just died. Okay? That's all I'm saying. My sister's been going crazy, fucking texting him all day. I come to find out because she done posted on Facebook about it. He's right where it says 3 the second time. Yeah. Alright. Don't be so hard on yourself. A moment's distraction is required for reflection and does not count as a choice, but the tendency to allow a moment's distraction and reflection can improve one's ability to make choices. So yeah, just like down and to the right of that 3 right there. That middle bay, that's Tampa Bay right there. And on that little vertical coast, just below Tampa Bay, that's where my dad is. On a key, on false key right there. I'm sitting there thinking about the shit I was showing earlier. Have you heard about they're claiming that the water has just disappeared from around the Bahamas? Yeah, False Keys, the little man-made one that's just kind of like a big beach island that's just slightly away from the coast. One like just big barrier island, and some geniuses had the idea of building houses on it, and this genius had the idea of buying a house on it. Oh yeah, that's just like living in New Zealand, Dad. Living in fucking hurricane hell. So yeah, I was thinking earlier, like, this supposed shit on Facebook that we found earlier. I go and I look for it on the on YouTube, and All the uploads are from 10 hours ago. And they're all copies of it, right? But they all say Long Island, too. Like, what the fuck? And then they all show the same video, even the ones that start with Long Island. They're just showing the same video over and over again. And then it was 3 weeks ago that, like, Dabu, fucking Mr. B333 or whatever, and all them little random fucking channels, Paul Beglia, talking about in South America these different places where the water had receded. And you know, of course, they're making a big fucking deal about it because they're trying to sit there and say global warming isn't fucking real, which, you know, that alone, like, just makes my fist want to boom. Anyways, just want to fucking, just feel them crunch, just feel their fucking bones in their face, just, yeah. Anyways. Back to proper British etiquette, yes. Let me cross my legs and sit like a lady. So, yeah. Here's the deal. When you look on those videos from 3 weeks ago, Fist of the Morning Star, that's why it hits like a mace. So, what the fuck is I talking about? Alright, those videos where they, oh yeah. I don't think I ever got to see that one. I've scrolled across that. But anyway, the videos that these different channels have been posting 3 weeks ago, and the channel and the video that posted earlier Saturday. What's odd about it is the similarity in the terrain once revealed. And I don't mean necessarily that those are shot in the same location and that they're necessarily not in South America. Might be in South America, might have been on an island somewhere. I don't know. I don't think these people who posted the videos know either. None of them fucking say the specific location the shit's shot at, right? So that's suspicious right there. But what's really odd is the life that's there. And it's not just lacking, it's very specific. So there's areas that are kind of like a cross between a marsh and a tide pool. And it's essentially a tidal floodplain that's very muddy. And what you find there are like Clerpa mexicana and prolifera and pravera and maybe some shaving brush, some Merlin's fans. But you won't find bigger macroalgae, you won't find gracilia, you won't find dragon's breath. You'll just find like the prolifera kind of sitting short, like as opposed to sitting like long mexicana. which I accidentally called the prolifera mexicana on the video earlier. In addition to that, what you could see on those videos is conchs. Big old conch snails. And it makes me think that that's more of a periodic tidal event, because of the way the life seemed like that was something that had happened before, kind of. You know, like if that hadn't happened there before, you'd expect to see different things stranded there. Like, namely fish. You know, fish would get confused and not know where to go. As opposed to if it was something that regularly occurred, there wouldn't be fish dying everywhere. There weren't fish dying everywhere. So I think it's something that naturally, like, regularly occurs. So once again, these fucking people, Bagali and Dabu and all these different fucking YouTubers, making all this fucking money, basically off of just spreading lies. It's fucking disgusting. And it pisses me off because I'm hungry and there ain't a damn thing in this house I feel like eating. Oh, maybe chicken noodle soup. We have chicken noodle soup. That's good after you've been throwing up every time, isn't it? Maybe that's the real reason why you throw up. Your body just decides, you know, none of this is worth a fuck compared to chicken noodle soup. Blah. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. Something. Okay. And here's another awkward moment for me. People are starting to gather, kneeling together in churches in Key West right now. Oh, yes, worldwide lack of chicken noodle soup. I didn't even realize there was that many Catholics in Key West. They're praying so hard they're speaking in tongues in there. And when Catholics start speaking in tongues, that's some hard prayer. Yeah. What's awkward about it is I can't fucking do anything about it. Well, not what I would deem enough. I can protect them. But what's really awkward, but kind of beautiful too, they're not even praying for themselves. I mean, they are, but they aren't. They're praying for other people, and oh yeah, keep us safe too. And that's why I'm going to protect them. me see if I can get a different channel to give us an update on wind speeds. Tree on a car. Wind speed still 130, gusts 150. Moving northwest at 6 miles per hour. Something else, man. Something else. Well, time for the daily dose of harmonica.
It's coming oh so soon, but I try to find a way to get away from here. I know why can't I get back? I know you know it's coming so soon. Feel it inside in my heart, I know it's coming oh so soon. But I try to find a way to get away from here. I know why can't I get back, get back, get back, get back? I know you coming through, you're trying.
No key in you? E major. You might want to do A. Mm-hmm. Here I go, again on the plane, driving at you, baby, at your brain. I'ma try real hard, play my cards right, baby, not at all. Here it comes, coming to you. I'm finding, baby, what's deep in you. I'ma trying to find myself in this great world with this bad hell.
This is a one-off recording. I just started playing that. This is the one time we ever played this.
I'm trying to find me too in the midst of the elves I see. And I know the Holy Ghost, but it tries to get me close. I'm going to a place where I won't find nobody but you. I'm trying to not lose my cool, but it's a coming and I can't stop loving you. I can't stop loving you. I can't stop loving you.
sign, but it's coming, baby, and you can't hide. I'm trying to find you where some baby out with the long brown hair. Come on, girl, come to me. I want you, baby, more than you can see. I'm coming, coming hard. It's a coming, baby, you can't stop. Baby, can't stop loving you. I know, baby, no, I can't stop loving you. I can't, baby, no, can't stop loving you. I can't stop loving you.
I can't listen to this song without a smile on my face.
People come and people go. They keep running, but they're running too slow. I'm unkind, I know why. Smoke the shit, man, to get real high. Here I'm trying to find you, babe, on a plane of away. I'm crying in the rain, but it's hard to see my pain through you. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh I can stop loving you, 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 you. Loving you, loving you, loving you. I can't stop loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving, 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 loving,
Mishap.
loving, loving, loving you.
Loving you. Bum, bum. I'd be reeling back like Bill Cosby dancing in the elevator.
I'm trying to leave my soul intact from the demons that are coming at my home. It ain't hard, and it seems I know what's one of his evil schemes. I'm a-coming fast. Don't stop it now or you break your glass. It ain't hard to understand what it takes to be a loving man. I can't stop loving you. No, 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 can't stop loving you. No, no, baby, no. I said no, honey, darling, no, I can't stop loving you. Oh, what I say now, Sean? I said no, baby, I can't stop loving you. Here we go, take me out. No, 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 I can't stop loving you. Are you coming? No, no, baby, I can't stop loving you. No, no, I can't stop loving you.
Bill Cosby dancing in the elevator.
That's right, loving
on
you,
the opening
baby.
credits. This is the best elevator music I ever seen. Bam, bam, I haven't heard that in a long time. I was sitting there listening to the last set of lyrics that Danny kind of came up with. Like, he was just saying, like, I was just trying to, like, I was kind of like channeling the conversations we were having earlier. Because, you know, like, obviously, conversations with me wind up deeply intense and spiritual. And I was just, like, finally starting to hear that in the lyrics. And it's almost like prophetic, that last little verse that he about or you break your glass, you know, the half full half empty, or the empty your cup unless it'll be overflown. I misspoke by saying half full half empty. That doesn't fucking do with anything. Wrong metaphor, analogy, whatever. Wrong adjective, noun. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Fuck. Oh, that's just one terrifying looking storm right there, man. My dad needs to get the hell out of there right now. Look at that. It just started raining on him. It's about to be a heavy, we see a heavy band coming in from behind. That's going from 30 to 40 miles an hour right there. You see, just picture them little bands like cars. And if you know the relative speeds, or if you know the total speed and the average speed, or you know the maximum speed sustained, right? And the average speed, and you know the gust speed, you can kind of guesstimate what you're looking at, where you're looking at it, based on what determines the wind speed in a hurricane is how fast it's spinning around the center. Yeah, I don't play harmonica. Like, I could pick up a harmonica and make, like, you know, noises and pretend. But Danny, man, Danny's a fucking badass harmonica player, man. Like, that's when I do the Bill Cosby dancing. That's what, like, when I'm sitting here listening to him play that harmonica, man, that's what makes them, like, I can listen to them over and over again. I can't really listen to my own music quite as well as I can listen to the jams that we had. And all we did was smoke one and hit record. And another one, oh, there's another one that was just smoke one and hit record with Danny. Put that one on now. The usual one I play for the background music is called Lost Cattle. I kind of like singing like a repetitive, like so far away chorus on there. I tried to unmute the microphone and sang it one time. Far away, oh so far away. Like, I think like the guitarist would sing that while he's playing the guitar, or while he's doing the harmonica thing, you know. And then of course, Lovin' You. I don't know how the hell a song just comes out of nowhere like that. I mean, I still can't listen to that and believe my own words when I say that song was the result of us smoking a joint, hitting record on a PC computer with one of them little, you know, the little duplex microphones with the little chinky plastic stand back in the day. Oh wait, you can't say chinky anymore. That's fucking chinky. Like, you know, desktop microphone. You know, that's what it was named. Desktop microphone. Just the little shitty $4 ones. That's what we recorded it on. A WAV file on Windows Millennium. Windows ME. Oh, God, what a piece of shit. And like, you know, trying to make, like, did a couple of hand signals, trying to get him where, like, to know when to make some kind of a chorus, and then like kind of like doing like a little loopy thing, like, let's do the chorus again, kind of. And then like, when I made him sing the third verse, he wanted to go through the big, like, warble with the microphone, with the harmonica thing. Which is awesome, but I wasn't ready for that. So then, like, after we got done, like, the next time through, he was, like, showing me, he was, like, pointing at his thing. I'm going off, man. He was pointing at his harmonica and, like, looking at me big eyes, like, now is the time, motherfucker. And, yeah. He did it too, man. That was an awesome harmonica solo at the end. Bow, wow, 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 wow. So anyways, now that I'm playing disc jockey here, coming up next on the Lost Begotten Radio TV Network, we have Sean Morris and Danny What's-His-Face from Texas, who I can't seem to fucking find on Facebook now that, like, the times of MySpace have expired. Right, he's a badass harmonica player. Maximo said that solo is insane, dude. Went for it. Anyway, coming up next on the Lost Begotten Radio TV Personal Copyright Music Network, we have, what is the name of it? I guess I should have selected it with the mouse thing before I wait. Oh, there we go. I'm remembering the first couple of words to it, but I couldn't remember the title of it. Coming up next on the Lost Begotten Radio TV Fake News Channel, or whatever the fuck it is. Cold-Hearted Blues.
I'm in my home down in New Orleans. Lord, I left my home down in New Orleans. Lord, I had nothing but trouble, you know what I mean. Oh, nothing feeling can't seem to change. And I'm coming back and forth there with some cold-hearted news. I got the cold-hearted blues. I'm feeling trouble down in me. Oh, hurting nothing nobody could see. Fate intended something different for me. Now I'm asking nothing for free, 'cause I'm holding some news. 'Cause you got nothing to lose. I'm coming to you, baby, with some cold-hearted news. I got the cold-hearted blues. Cold-hearted blues. Cold-hearted blues.
Gentlemen, Sean and Danny and the Industrial Blues Orchestra.
Darling, let me be. Oh, something happened. Mercy on me. Bye, baby, I ain't ready to see. I'm coming to you, baby, with some more I do. I got the cold-hearted blues. Oh, please have mercy on me, baby. I got nothing to lose. I got the cold-hearted blues. I got the cold-hearted blues.
great shit. Well, listening to music kind of making me feel better. I'm still feeling very off. And that, I just managed to choke down 7 Oreo cookies. Or 5. Yeah, it's probably only 5. It seemed like 7. It was kind of taking forever. And I actually managed to eat something, so that's good. I figure if the only thing I can drink is milk, I need to eat something that's, you know, that you eat with milk. It's either cereal or cookie. Cookies are easier, let's face it. Cookies are easier. They need to just make nutritious cookies. You know, just make me some chocolate chip cookies that have like whole grain or some shit. You know? Call them super cookies. I could totally fucking come up with that recipe myself, dude. Like, oh my god. What? You wanna make the world a better place? Just put me in charge of like half the companies in it. I will have them all making better products. Or fucking. Anyways. Yeah, it was definitely very much like food poisoning. But like there was no food to speak of. That's the difference. It was like food poisoning mixed with heat exhaustion. Hey, there you go. I was just thinking, some soy powder and ground pistachio with some some whole grain crushed wheat. I have fucked up teeth, so I can't have like sesame seeds or anything that would caught between my teeth. I also have a hell of a toothache. So I have to have like I can't even have crunchy peanut butter anymore. I used to love crunchy peanut butter. So like that's why I like the chocolate chip cookies, because they're easy. So like what I'm thinking is like something that's like old people food, you know? People with sensitive stomachs, with sensitive teeth. You know, like me, I had my fucking wisdom teeth came in while I was homeless. So, yeah. And just like focus on proteins and fats being high, but trying to get cholesterol low. Yeah, I'm just pulling this out of my ass, man. I mean, like, as soon as I said that stuff, I'm like, I've never even cooked with that shit before. It just sounds like what would work. Yes, exactly. You want to have like, hey, cool. It's like a hint of ground rosemary. Like just a little hint. A little hint of clove powder. Of course, a little vanilla. No cinnamon, no nutmeg. Brown sugar instead of white sugar. And whipped butter instead of margarine or anything like that. So, you know, it had high fat but lower cholesterol. You want a long time and stop your fucking stomach from hurting because it's, you know, it's a chocolate chip cookie. And you want to have enough cookie there and minimal on the date. Well, dates aren't very acidic, but minimal on the raisins. And like, you know, a lot of cookie, a lot of chocolate. And the dates and raisins and everything else. Shit, that sounds perfect to me for the old High German fucking taste palette. Oh my god, oh, I used to get hungry every time I thought about Berlin. It was called like Hermia or something though. It wasn't called Berlin. Armenia. No. Heteromania. Something like that. It was definitely wasn't Germany and it wasn't Deutschland. All the things make me personally nauseated. Ah. A long time ago, you would expect to see what I was talking about, like a really long time ago. You'd expect to see that kind of tree in Morocco and in Syria. Both places always smelled of jasmine. Anyway. Yeah, it's odd how some things about Berlin they just refuse to change, isn't it? Dictator, someone who has sex with starchy vegetables. What? Dingo. What's up, puppy? Where you been? Being a good boy. we lay down by the door, okay? Yeah. I wish I could do more traveling for the sake of traveling. I've just been so piss poor my whole fucking life. And I had to work hard just to be piss poor. I had to be constantly occupied just to be piss poor. I was mostly tied down to specific areas by optimism that was foolish. So what happened is I would think I was going to go to college. Try to stay somewhere long enough to get legal residency status so I could get scholarships and blah blah blah. And, oh yeah, my dad screwed that up for me too. Oh, right. Oh, trust me, I know that way too. I just fucking... I tried to prove people wrong about me. Because I never felt like the attribution of people assuming I was, that kind of stuff is all I wanted to do. I thought that had no basis to begin with. And I had always been a very ambitious and accomplishment-oriented person, as opposed to a financially ambitious person, you know. I wanted to actually do things, and to me it's always been this simple. You show how much you believe in God by how thankful you are for the gifts that God has given you. And to show God thanks for the gifts that He has given you, you have to use those gifts to the best of your ability to help others and to perform stewardship and take care of creation and your fellow brethren. That's just the whole point of life. And yeah, there you go. Like most people, it's like, okay, I love God. Do I get to go to heaven? I love God. I'm sorry, God. Do I get to get away with this now? What kind of childish fucking, like, you're an infant if you think that way. How can people with any self-respect allow themselves to continue with such defective thoughts? That's what they are. They're defective. Like, how many times would your fucking brother and sister and father and daughter have to fuck to come out with something as deplorably, incestuously fucking deformed as that thought right there? Holy shit. Like, you'd have to be your dad's own butt baby. You have to be, like, literally self-incest. Do the same fucking thing, just trying to make a person. That's the kind of thought that is. Defective. It's just like, when I see people that think like that, live their lives like that, and that's all they consider about anything, I just want to scream at them, just hold your breath until you die so you can stop wasting my fucking oxygen. Oh, just get the duct tape. Just that's the kind of people that have recycling programs and don't use them. Me, I have to get pissed off every time they make me take out the fucking trash around here, because I just constantly think about how much shit we don't recycle because we don't have a fucking recycling program. Imagine that. It's 2017 and there are places in America that don't fucking have a recycling program. What the fuck is that bullshit? Major cities, too. Major cities. Like, our waste management company isn't local in this little country town. Our waste management's the same fucking country Baton Rouge has. They just don't have recycle bins. I just start making a campaign around that for around here. We need that. I mean, it's just so dreadfully irresponsible to not be recycling plastic and glass and aluminum. Oh my God. Like, you know, they did a couple of failed infomercials that would show how much of each type of material somebody just throws away every year. But they did it on, the reason why it failed, okay, was because they did it on the basis of an average family, okay? Do you want to really affect people? Just show them what your average single college girl, average single bachelor male, and then just show them look at each other and then just look down in shame. Show how much that one person can waste. Show them how much styrofoam. All them takeout dinners, daiquiris. Oh, I know. Europe. I love Europe for that. Pretty much all of Europe. has done so much. Everything they can do, they really have gotten together and gotten the whole world, done everything they can to get the whole world together. That's why I'm so pro EU. And I really think Brexit is taking away needed leadership from the EU. And it's really the point of it all. With the Russian involvement in the right-wing groups. It weakens the EU, and it's going to weaken Britain. Yeah, I tell you what, the next election in Britain is going to be something else. Wait for that, man. It's going to be something else. And it's probably going to occur during a war. That's going to be something else. Wait for the next Churchill to arise. Maybe it'll be me. If they actually want to, follow the rules and whatnot. It's supposed to, isn't it? Yeah. See, the EU's mistake was in trying to make Russia feel comfortable from the very beginning. Trying too hard to do business with Russia and trying to show them we can depend on you, Russia. You're our friends, Russia. And thus, the EU made a point of seeming as little NATO-oriented as possible. I think that was their biggest mistake. I think reasoned rhetoric about responsibility was all they should have done with Russia until Russia proved that it could do right. Not just, we were sitting there just trying to assess the economic and governmental situation in Russia based upon news reports and what people were saying on the streets, not even realizing how extensive the Russian FSB was and how many actors they pay to just walk around. Yeah, you go to Moscow, you are on a stage, man. You are on a fucking stage in Moscow. Right? As if it was our fault they tried to take over the fucking world, you know? People like to mince shit about that. And frankly, anyone who does needs to be exposed to the truth, and if they refuse to accept it, they need to be investigated for being fucking traitors. Because the fact of the matter is, Russia wanted to take over the world. the Soviet Union, the USSR, wanted to take over the world. They wanted to destroy America. They wanted to take over the whole fucking world. They announced it. They talked about it all the time. They wanted to spread communism to the entire world. And now, what is this Seventh-day Adventist cult, this Bessarian cult? What are the soldiers in Donbass and Grozny? What are they actually getting told? What are they propagandized with? What's their ideology? That they are going to liberate the world. Huh. Yeah, there's especially those old ladies, the crones, basically actors / intelligence gatherers. They're there to say certain things to see how people react to them, and if you don't react the right way, they will go and tell other people about you. And that, my friend, is how it has been done as long as there's been witch burnings. Interesting, isn't it? Now, after the thorough division of Europe and the confusion and hearsay and hypocrisy that just consume those fucking disgusting assholes, there was a lot of persecutions, but a good old-fashioned witch burning was a different thing. That was the same as it is today, a crone. And when they say she was consorting with the devil, they meant the Khan. They meant the Putin of the day. I mean, Putin is a title. You know that, right? I'm not sure what it means. But Stalin was a title. I think it means hero of men or something like that. But that's like a thing that's known, right? That Stalin is a title. Well, Putin's name is Vladimir Vladimirovich. Putin is a title. Satan, Stalin, Putin. The greatest trick the devil ever did was convincing the world that he did not exist. After what? He was cast down. Been here the whole time. Not in hell, not in the underworld, not in some fucking dungeon basement. Here. The whole time. You know, like, Russian kids, Russian bands, like, they don't really know that much, you know? They might, like, take a political standpoint based on the talking points of the day and shit. But it usually is, either once they're in the military, or once they're awarded for how many children they've had. But then, of course, you have the little hot chicks. Oh, they have some well-trained little hot chicks. And back in the 1200s to the 1400s, oh, did they send their little hot chicks. They sent the old crones. Those were the ones that were easier to catch. And if anything, an incident comes to mind, actually, in which a crone played defense for a harlot. What's that called? Not a hooker, not a whore, not a prostitute, a harlot. A Jezebel. But she wound up publicly accusing her, knowing that we had caught on to her. And as the harlot was being arrested, she publicly accused her to try to exonerate her. I'm trying to remember the background story. They just like caught a flash of it. Max in the morning. Oh. She was saying, I warned you not to fall in love with him. Huh. Oh, that was brilliant too, huh? Wasn't it? Pax d'amor di Pagliani. What does Pax mean? Just totally brain farting on that. I think it was a shorthand for something. Possibly just Pax Romanus. Yeah. I know, simple things. Okay, so I can't remember the specific little interjection words. It's Pax, Diam, Demore. Something Pagiani. So Pax is Latin, but it's something I should already fucking know. I learned it as a Boy Scout. People. Oh, wow. So humans don't return love to pagans? Interesting. I mean, that's ancient witch's tongue. It's not quite Latin. So yeah, the spirit pressure would be swirling. Yay, random memory flash. I wish I could get more of those on tape. Half the time I try to mention one and my wife gets pissed at me because she's busy. You know, playing Candy Crush. or not always Candy Crush. Sometimes it's Facebook. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Pax just means people, so it'd just be humans. Like, basically, that memory kind of confirmed that it was like different races, like not like black and white, like different races, different species that we're dealing with here. I mean, that's why this is a struggle for our survival. This is a species of interdimensional beings that can inhabit human bodies and can contort genetics to basically make humans better hosts, make humans more susceptible to hosting. And they've mostly conquered the world. And nobody even fucking seems to know it. Yep. visiting my dad. Great. He's in that little Scion XB. He took his, well, no, okay, the scenario was this, and I think it might have been me she was seducing. Or at least somebody I knew and was counseling. Maybe it was you. Fuck, I don't know. If you're getting creeped out by it, it might have been you. So this younger blonde wore a maroon dress, long, tight-fitting sleeves with slight bells at the end. She was being carried away by two soldiers for basically being a spy, being a harlot, okay, which is a female mercenary that uses her pussy as a weapon. So then a crone who was highly suspected for being a crone came out and screamed that at her to imply that she had warned her not to fall in love with the person that she was being arrested for spying on, so as to make it seem like she was really in love with her and that she wasn't a spy. Savvy? But in so doing, I think accidentally acknowledged her own identity and, like, didn't really mean to. Like, it wasn't something that they were supposed to let on to. But I think that was my presence that made her fuck up. Because, oh yeah, that tends to happen. And I tend to laugh at it. So, they were both arrested and burned at the stake. Or something. I know they were tied up on stakes. On public display. Ridicule was a big thing for us. But basically, we would tie people up, gag them, and make them listen to us bitch. Right. Oh, cool. You're having definite flashes. That's how it happens for me all the time. And I'll just sit there and I'll just be like, just in a different world for a few minutes, and like my wife will get upset, like just fucking being unproductive, and it's like, but wait, no, there's like a wagon. So what the fuck are you talking about? But she gets frustrated because she has problems picturing it now. Actually, a couple of years ago, when I was working, she had more time to sit and think about it. Now that she's working, she didn't have enough time to reflect. And then this Candy Crush habit of hers is kind of disabling what time she would maybe have to reflect. Like, she needs to find a way to channel the relaxation time into the meditative time. You know? I don't know. Yeah, I've been in similar scenarios in this life. Kind of with witches, too. Redheads, mostly. But those were, like, witches, not, like, crones or harlots. They're just witches. The only connection being demonic, but a definitive connection nonetheless, and very meaningful and introspective. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and call it a broadcast, Maximo. I will see you some more. And thanks to whoever else has watched this entire broadcast and enjoyed the, I think, very interesting conversation. Definitely enjoyed it, Max. And Neville, no, you weren't boring me. But, anybody who wants to come and chat, I appreciate it. Anybody, anytime who wants to come and chat, as long as you're not a complete fucking moron that I can't tell whether or not you're a troll bot. If I can't tell whether you're a robot or not, there's something wrong with you. Okay? Fix that, then come talk to me. Like a human being with, like, respect and fucking manners and stuff. Manners. Whatever happened to that? Anyways. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, check your subscription to make sure it doesn't just drop off. And I think sometimes they notification mode, so make sure that's on too. Peace, y'all. Bye.
See the sun shining red, and all it takes my pain back to breathe out of another thing. I know, it's in my heart, and baby, down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love them, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I want to be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. I can't take it no more. In my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way it treated me too many times before. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Now you done and piss me off. You went done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on. I can't take it no more. In my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. I know I gotta keep you by my side today I've died. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and piss me off. You ain't done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on. I can't take it no more.